So yeah, I kind of want what was right after this.
And her faculty member is John P.V. House.
Awesome, hi. So when I first started doing my thesis in September, I was focused on nuclear weapons and was planning to look specifically at how to achieve global eradication of nuclear weapons. As I began researching for that project that I had in mind, I found that, as I had expected, that this was pretty much impossible and it's very, very unlikely to ever happen. So in doing this research, I started looking at the nuclear weapons space campaign in the 1980s, and was looking at what had happened in that movement and why did it fail? Why was this nuclear craze not achieved? So that kind of helped me to transition to what my current project is, which is looking at grassroots mobilization and the role of citizen engagement in foreign affairs. So, what I found, and what I kind of developed my theory based off of it, is that this idea of grassroots activism, kind of the voice of people rising up, doesn't exist as we traditionally conceptualize it. That actually, this public opinion, this mass public opinion, is a tool used by a group of committed activists to force through their policy agenda. So with this research in mind, I formed a model that is the basis for my project, which is the democratic memory model for foreign affairs. So if you're familiar with how Pacific's work, it's based loosely on the memory model, which is about how to achieve change in autocratic societies. And unfortunately, what I found is that in the United States, we think that we don't need something like this. We don't need to reach to outside sources. We can just go talk to our policymakers and we change. That's not actually really true. And so we need to implement this model that I built. So what is the model? I should explain that. So what I'm proposing is that there is a group of core activists who develop a policy proposal, who are committed to this work, who are engaged in it, who want to see a change in the status quo. They then use public opinion and use the mobilization of public opinion in order to force through this change. If they can create a movement that's broad enough and committed enough, then there's the potential that this group of activists might actually begin to see other people. So, in practice, what that looks like is basically what we saw in the nuclear weapons space campaign in the 80s. We had this core group of activists led by the American Foreign Service Committee who reached out to Dr. Randall Forsberg, who was studying at MIT at the time, to create a freeze proposal. This wasn't going anywhere. It hadn't received attention at the national level. So they reached out to the people, tried to get people to care about it, and attempted to push it through that way. Whatever, as you know, that failed. The freeze was not implemented. Which leads me to kind of one of the most important things that I found in my thesis, which is that what really matters is how things are framed. And I think that's the biggest takeaway that I have. Is that when we engage in this national security framework, it's actually a means of shutting down voice of control. So if you look at the nuclear open space campaign, it was framed obviously in terms of national security, talk about nuclear weapons as a tool of national security. And because of that, people weren't actually able to create a change. In contrast to that, you see the U.S. campaign against apartheid in South Africa, which was occurring at about the same time, which was far more successful and actually ended with economic sanctions being placed on South Africa. And the difference there was that they were able to move the conversation out of this national security framework that Reagan and others were trying to force through, saying this is about World War, this is about communism, we need to continue our support for the South African regime in order to ensure stability. And the kind of this progressive group that I was looking at said, no, this is not about security, this is about criticism. And by successfully changing the framework and changing the way we look at things, they were able to win on this way. They were able to successfully implement this learning model that I proposed, and that led to the economic sanctions being passed. So, all of this, so that's kind of what my research showed me, that's where I went with it. In terms of implications, which I think is really what matters here, is what I found is that we need to be very cautious of the national security rhetoric. It can be very intentionally evoked by elected officials, by the president, by the administration, as a way of ensuring, or attempting to ensure that people don't have a voice. And that's something that I think we should be wary of, make sure we account for, and always know that there are two sides to the story. Usually things are framed as a national security right. There's another way of looking at it that might be more conducive to allow citizen voices. Thanks.
John, do you want to say anything about your lovely cozy? You're good.
And would it work or would it not work? And she really did a lot of work, especially in the fall, kind of reformulating the question, drawing out some theories, doing some comparative case studies. And so she really took what I think she thought was a really simple question to start and figured out it was very complicated, but yet took all of this data, all of this information, and really processed it into an outstanding thesis. And so I'm very proud of what she did, and congratulations.
I didn't really explain, I'm sure all of you know the thesis process, but the students that choose to do theses, it's completely up to them to take on these large projects, and they can be 70 to 100 pages of written thesis work, as many of you know, I'm sure. So these students are really pushing themselves and going above and beyond, and so they should be commended for that. And I just want to thank Allison Berlin, because if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be doing this, and this is the first time that we're doing this. So I'm very thankful that you brought this to our attention, because it's really it's special and it's important. So thank you, Allison.
She's going to be outside. Yeah. Oh, yeah. To give us tickets. Yeah. All the way for the first 5 days or so. And then I just stay following hopefully their
Is this the driveway election again?
Don't hit the way to the cold. I was saying that I keep up and I've been studying.